I am so excited to introduce my guest today, Audrey Biggs of Boyd County High School, who's signed to play at Pittsburgh for women's basketball. And Audrey, it's so good to have you on here. And let's open up straight to the point. Let's talk about your media career. And I think it's so unique what you bring to the table. And talk about, first off, how that interest developed in wanting to get into sports media and just where it's gone today.
Yeah, well, first off, Tyler, thank you for having me on the podcast today. I'm excited to work with you again. We've done many projects together, but never been on the show, so I'm excited to be on today. But yeah, I've always grown up around sports. Both my brothers play. My dad played. From where I was little, but I've always wanted to stay kind of in the sports world. And, I didn't really find out what that was going to be, whether, playing as a professional, anything like that. So I noticed one day when I was pretty young in middle school, we were watching the Super Bowl. And here comes Erin Andrews on the TV, and she's interviewing during halftime. And I look at my dad, and I'm like, hey, that girl's pretty. That girl's talking about sports, Oh, my gosh, I would love to be her one day, And I thought from then on that was my goal. And I remember telling my dad, I want to be like Erin Andrews. And from then on, I've never looked back. And so I've done a couple of things, like you said. I have my own podcast with Tanya Witt and Rise Up Sports Media, which she's been a huge help to me. And you also got my little media and broadcasting career started, with helping me out for sure. But it's been a great journey, and I'm excited to continue that and study that at college.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I don't like to interject myself in, but it's just such a neat story how that happened, because it was a night in tax season, and I went to watch you play Ashland, and I think it was in part just to kind of make some notes on each team because I knew I was going to be calling probably the district championship with Mike Miller. And we go out there, and your dad came up and introduced himself to me at the game, and that was the first time I'd ever talked with Brian, and we had a great conversation. And Harley Painter was going to come on to my show at the time, Roll With It, with My Town TV, and instead she ended up getting COVID, so I had to have a guest. And you were one of the people I was looking to have on. I'm like, well, would she be interested, you think? I know she's only a freshman. I know she probably hadn't been interviewed much. And she's like, oh, yeah. So we talked, Brian and I talked on Facebook, and he gave me some facts about you and some notes. And right after we concluded the conversation, he goes, oh, yeah, she also has an interest in media. And so that's when the wheels in the brain just started spinning. And of course, though, you would have succeeded in this with or without me, but it was certainly a joy to be a part of. And talk about that first interview, though, with Shaylin Steele, looking back at that and what that was like.
Yeah, so me and Shay, we go way back. We've always played against each other all the way since 6th grade. And we've kind of been like the two players that are kind of, always been head-to-head, real good buddies, but real competitive. We did take it out on each other on the court for sure, but we were best friends off the court. We played travel ball together all the way with the West Virginia Thunder, and, she was always my best bud on those, and we had tons of sleepovers. And so, when we did our interview, it was so easy just because it was her, and we have so many interests, to share. And it was just like an easy conversation like we're having. And, it was a good way to definitely get started, and just to, have her as my beginning, and, look at us now, and, we're both going to play Power 5 basketball in Pennsylvania. So that's pretty cool.
And how does that feel looking at it? You mentioned both going to play Power 5. You look at just all that you've done. You look at players like you, Jasmine Jordan, of course, Shaylin, and then Haven Ford. And I mean, I know there's others I've left out, but what you've done for this region and for Eastern Kentucky, I mean, how does it feel to be a part of such a strong legacy?
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a legacy, and that's what it is. And it's definitely like a standard now, for younger girls, just to be like, hey, you can make it out of here, and this is what the 16th region brings to the table and to the state every single year. But yeah, I mean, it's been an honor to play amongst those girls since the 7th grade. I mean, I started out every year loaded with, I started out with Savannah, and then the next year it was Harley and Bailey and all those girls. Then it was, my grade up and all the way up till senior year. And it's just been amazing.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, you look at some of the accomplishments. I mean, Allie Stone, who was on here recently, and NAIA All-American. You have, of course, Savannah Wheeler, CUSA Player of the Year, and many more. And let's talk a little bit about your time at Boyd County. When I mention that to you, what comes to mind in terms of memories?
It's really where I came to love the game of basketball. It's really where I found out, hey, I can actually go far with this and make it a career as well. Coach Fraley and Coach Tony Kemper from Marshall had a really good connection. And, I got my first offer at the beginning of my 8th grade year. And after that, it became kind of more serious to me. But yeah, the friendships that I've made, I got to play with all sorts of people and great players alongside me. And those were some of my best friends. And, off the court, we'd always hang out and we just had the best of times. And that's kind of what I think about. But, just always the battles, going to Ashland to play the district championship, whether it's home or away, those were always, big games. Because Boyd County Ashland, that'll always be a rivalry no matter what it is. And then going to Moorhead and playing with the girls and winning 2 region championships, it was just amazing for sure. And then this past year with winning the 2A state championship, that was probably the best thing that we've done that past year. We had a struggle, but it was definitely a great year for us for sure. And I'm grateful for, all those girls and all the coaches that I've had throughout the years. And so, yeah, it's sad that it's over, but I'm really happy for the new beginning that I'm about to have.
Yeah, you all sure. I mean, you sure went down swinging this year. I mean, the 3 injured players, 3 injured starters, and still came back and fought. I mean, just scratched, clawed. It didn't give up at all. And I mean, that's a team I know here that I'm definitely going to remember for a long time, just because of that effort you put in, and despite all those injuries. And let's talk a little bit about that, because I know one of the key inspirations behind that effort was Pete Fraley, who after 28 years decided to retire as a coach, 560 wins under his belt. What comes to mind when I say the name Pete Fraley?
Yeah, so, I mean, I've been with him since the 6th grade, but really it started in elementary school when I was playing, Little League basketball for Ponderosa. And I remember after a game one evening at the middle school, I had no clue who he was. And he came over and introduced himself, and he took me back to the locker room, and I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. Here, me being just the little girl that I was, and he gave me a pair of basketball shoes. And I will never forget that. He said, here, these are yours now. You can wear those. And I'll see you here in a couple of years. And I will just never forget that. And I remember just, waiting and waiting to finally get to play for him. And when I did, it took off. 7th grade year, it was really, really a big year because we went to state that year, with Savannah and Harley and all those girls, but and Bailey, which was a great year to start. And then you just keep on going, and he's had tremendous teams over the years. I mean, and he's been through many ups and downs, and he's definitely, turned that program to what it is today. And like I talked about expectations and standards, he's definitely brought that to Boyd County basketball, because whenever you're playing Boyd County, whether they have a great team or not, they will always bring, the fight. Like you said, we will always go down swinging. But yeah, he even coached my dad back in the day. So he's been going at it for a long time. So, it was just an honor to play for him. And, every game I was going for him, because I knew it was kind of coming to an end. We talked about it, before earlier in the season, and, every game was for him, and, here we are. And, I just went and saw him yesterday, cause I leave tomorrow for Pittsburgh, but he's just like a second dad to me. So more than a coach for sure.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about Pittsburgh. How excited are you?
Oh, I'm more than excited. I just can't believe it's actually here. Just because I felt like just the other day I just committed and was still playing travel ball. But now I'm about to move in, and we start workouts Monday. So, I mean, we're getting right to it.
That's great. And Audrey, just looking, let's see. I'm trying to think of what I'm going to transition to from here. Okay. Let's talk about some fun questions to get to know you better. First off, this has actually been a while. So I think the last time, and it's hard to believe, the last time you were on was when you were a freshman at my town. But we'll start talking about, first off, what pregame ritual do you have?
Oh gosh. Okay, so I'm not really a person that kind of has a routine, but I'll tell you some of the things that I do. So I always have my headphones in, and I'm never listening to crazy music, just because I'm trying to calm my mind down and get my mind locked in. But I do play this song every time before a game, and it's called "Return of the Mac." That's kind of like my theme song, I would say. And that was even before I got hurt. And then after I got hurt, it was even more perfect for me. But yeah, I play that before every game, and it just kind of calms my mind down and locks me in. But yeah, and of course, I try and pray before every game, for sure. But, yeah, that's about it. Nothing special, nothing crazy.
And what advice do you give to someone who wanted to achieve it at your level?
Yeah, so like I said before, girls in this area, girls in this state especially, they have opportunities, because Kentucky girls basketball is just amazing, and it's a lot higher than what a lot of people think. And I think that shoot for your goals. If you want to go far, if you want to go to the highest level, then you do it, and you don't let nothing stop you. Even after I got injured, I still was, shooting for the top, shooting for, the highest level that I could play at, and I wasn't going to let that injury or nothing stop me. So that's what I would have to say to younger girls. And just be true to yourself, and don't let anybody, steer you off your path, and everything will work out.
And what is your favorite food?
I would have to go with steak. I'm a big, steak and potatoes type of girl.
Nice. And what about your favorite movie?
Oh gosh. You asked me too fast. It's what's the guy? Well, it's a true story. I can't think, where he walks on at Arkansas, and he ends up earning a scholarship, and I forget what it's called, but it's just a great story, and it just shows how much hard work can get you to to your dreams. But I can't think of it. You asked me too fast, Tyler.
It looks like I looked up Greater. looks like.
Yes, Grader. That's what it is. Yes, Grader. That is my all-time favorite movie.
Your toughest opponent that you competed against in high school?
Oh, gosh. There's been many. I mean, Coach Philly has lined us up with crazy schedules. I remember in 8th grade this is funny, I played Amaya Jenkins, who was Miss Basketball that year from Anderson County.
Mm-hmm.
And, she went on to play at Kentucky, but now she transferred to Pittsburgh, and we're about to be teammates. But, it's just kind of a full circle moment. And I remember talking to her, and I was like, hey, do you remember when we played against each other, and I guarded you as a little 8th grader? And she was like, yeah, that was a dog fight for sure. I think we ended up winning that game, and they were ranked like 2nd in the state. But, her and I would say, of course, Shaylin, just because it's always been kind of me and her going up against each other. But yeah, that's all I have on the top of my head right now. But definitely been some great girls come out of the state of Kentucky that I've played against for sure.
And what's a cool fact about yourself? Something maybe not a lot of people know.
So I really like to cook, and I really like to bake as well, baking more than cooking. So I'm excited, to kind of go to college, and, I have a full-size kitchen in my apartment. So I told Mom, I was like, I need to get my pots, my pans, baking dishes, all this and that. So yeah, I'm excited to do that, and I don't know if a lot of people know that about me. My friends do, of course, because I cook for them, but maybe everyone doesn't know that.
That's awesome. And are there any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Just everyone who's helped me on my journey for sure. I've had many trainers over the years. And especially coming back from my injury, there's been multiple people from my Marshall Sports Medicine therapy people, my trainers, basketball trainers, and just both my coaches from the West Virginia Thunder to Coach Pete Fraley, and of course my family. But yeah.
And then last question, Audrey, what do you want your legacy to be?
So I would definitely just say, I wanted to set a standard and example for younger girls to, just be, my dad always said this, just be who you are and be a lady first, and, treat everyone how you wanted to be treated, and don't let anybody steer you off your path, like I said, and, go for your dreams, and, just always smile. Everyone always says they've never seen me when I'm not smiling, and when I'm not smiling, someone's in trouble. It's usually on the basketball court, but yeah, just things like that. I would say, but yeah.
Yeah, and Audrey, we want to say thank you so much. Thank you for all the memories, and thank you for being on today. And oh yeah, your podcast. Where can we find that at?
Yeah, you can find that on my Twitter page. You can find that on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to your Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast at. Yeah, you could definitely go check those out for sure.
That's awesome. What's the name of it?
Big Time with Audrey Biggs.
Nice. Continuing on from the My Town name. That's awesome.
You started that, Tyler.
That's awesome. Well, Audrey, it's such a joy to have you on, and we want to say thank you all for listening today, and be sure to stay tuned. We'll have more interviews coming up here on this audio edition of the Player Spotlight. God bless you. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.